Hey there, Rajat here from Startup Frat. Welcome to this video. The wheels of time are turning again, bringing you back to the same place. Yet another lockdown where the government says if you are a small business owner, if you have a business where your customers have to physically travel to come to you, you cannot operate your business because it's dangerous. At the same time, construction activity can go on. Big buildings with hundreds of workers can absolutely be, under construction because, hey, guess what? Who owns construction businesses? It's the politicians, yeah? But you're a small business owner, you run a brick and mortar business, you have a shop which faces the road, or you have a shop that's inside the mall, your customers have to travel to come to your store, then you are a you're a danger to society. Yeah, so shut it down. Okay, now if you're a small business owner who's sick and tired of being a punching bag every time the incompetence of society, the incompetence of the healthcare system, or the incompetence of government hits your business for no rhyme or reason and for no fault of yours, then you're at the right place. Okay, now what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about the lean startup. Which has three layers, which is message, outreach, and business house. Okay, message, outreach, and business house. Okay, message, outreach, and business house, which is what are you showing to your customers? Are you a commodity business, which is like a chemist store, kirana store, clothing store, or something like that, where people come, just because there is a discount, just because it's the season to go out and party, so they want to buy some party apparel or something like that, or it is based on some commodity need items like groceries and chemist and medicals or things like that. Okay, so either you're that kind of store or you're a kind of highly specialized business where you attract certain kinds of customers and you help them get certain kinds of results. Okay, so if you have an architect's office, which could be in the market, or whatever, if you have a private practice, if you have a travel agency, if you run a healthcare business, not a chemist business, if you run a healthcare business, if you run a workshop like a yoga workshop or something, any kind of small brick and mortar business where your customers come to you specifically because they recognize you, they want to get a certain result in life, or you're a restaurant owner, customers come to you because they want to eat a certain cuisine, feel a certain way, they like the ambience, they like the music or whatever. Okay, then this video is for you. Now, what happens is there are three layers in the kind of lean startup that we propose that you have, and it's very, very essential today that you have this kind of startup only. Why? Because it gives you a lot of options in life. Okay, if the first option is that you can get your customers, this outreach, which is your continuous marketing effort, even if you are listed on Zomato, even if you're listed on Practo or any other directory service, or if you're doing your own marketing using messaging, using Facebook ads, or putting in flyers into newspapers or something like that, then this part is very, very important to you, the outreach part. Okay, the outreach part. Now what happens is the outreach, which is the way you market to your customers, is directly influenced by what kind of product line or business house you have. Okay, let's call it the product line. Now what we recommend in the startup frat model is that you have multiple product lines that are high profit, low profit, etc., and they're good for different kinds of seasons. Okay, they're good for different kinds of seasons. And this outreach, which is what you say and how you reach out to your customers, is going to directly determine how much business you get, provided you have the right kind of product line. Okay, let me give you an example. There are two ways in which a brick and mortar business actually markets to their customers. Either they have a building or an office, they have some employees, they have a big board outside, they may have some flyers in the newspaper, they may be known in the local area, they may have some banners in the local area saying, hey, if you need this, come to our place, etc. Okay, you have a building and employees, or you have some kind of what I call an online building and robots, bots and algorithm. Okay, you have an online building and bots and algorithm by which you get this message out to the people, and you get them attracted into your product or service. Okay, now a building and employees could cost, let us say, rent of about 40 to 50,000 rupees, and employees of, even if you have 20,000 rupees each employee, that's another maybe 50,000 rupees each. So you're talking about 1 lakh rupees of spend just to get your business going, just to get your business going. Now, if there's a lockdown, you still have to pay the lease and you still have to pay the employees, okay? That's 1 lakh rupees going out of your pocket every single month, all right? And if you have an online building or bots or something like that, it could cost you a fraction of that, let us say maybe 10 to 20,000 rupees a month, and it does the same job. It does the same job. Okay, now choosing the right is very important. Choosing the correct format is very important. If you've been in business for a while, if you've been a restaurant owner who's only done business through weekend promos, through Facebook, we have our partners who actually promote us and things like that, then understanding this kind of model may be a little difficult. Okay, most small business owners that come into our community or buy our advisory services or come into our academy programs, they have this idea that I'm already doing Facebook ads. I already have a Facebook page. I already pay somebody to put some posts over there and all of that. Okay. And that's how we do business. That is interesting that you have that. It is great. Okay. But that's not all. That's not all. All of these algorithms, etc., have to be fueled so that they constantly attract customers and they constantly gauge the customer's level of attraction of interest, and they have a predictable system of converting a certain percentage of those into paying customers within a predictable form of predictable span of time. Okay, predictable span of time. Most seasonal businesses like travel agencies, most what you call cyclical businesses, restaurants, which make most of their money from the weekends, right? It's different if you have some kind of an Udupi restaurant, which is kind of more commoditized and people come almost on a daily basis, or if you're in an area which is a commercial area where more of the office staff is going to have their lunch and dinner over there, then that's different. But most cuisine restaurants, etc., they make their business on the weekends. Most travel agencies, they only make good money during the traveling season, during the summer vacations, etc., right? So they have given up the thinking to assume that इस तरह चल रहा था तो इसी तरह चल सकता है, which is this is the way we have always done business and this is the way it's always going to be. Okay, I'm here to tell you that's not the case. Now, if incidents like lockdowns and all happen, I get very excited because it's an opportunity for me to tell the community the importance of having a demand generation system. Now, what is a demand generation system? If you do have these office and employees, what do these employees do? Chances are that these employees either buy a list or buy a database from somewhere, or they pick up the phone book or something, they call people, okay, and they convince them to walk in or something and just take a look at your products and services, at which point you may have a system where you kind of show them the different options, offers, discounts, etc., and you're able to get your orders. Okay, if you're a restaurant, then maybe what these folks do is they create posts, they put it on Facebook so that the social media following stays hot, and then you probably have ads and offers on the weekend which pull people over to you. Maybe you're listed on Zomato and you have some special offers on the weekend which pull people over to your place. Okay, now how does an outreach program run online? How does an outreach program run online? You need to have an online building first. Okay, what is an online building? It is something which is your space. So when customers come inside that space, okay, you are showing them something and you are gauging their interest. It is your space. When customers come inside your office, they get to see your flavor, they get to see your ambience, they probably get to listen to your type of music in the waiting room, then they come and meet you. There's a certain way in which you create an impression on a customer. You need to have an online building. This online building could be something like a highly advanced responsive website, okay, with your own battery of cookies which are tracking the customer's behavior on your website. Okay, it also needs to have a website, or maybe some people use basic funnel pages or click funnels or whatever it is. That is fine. Okay, then you need to have your own cookie system which tracks the gradation of person moving from one place to another. Then you need to have something called a traffic source. Traffic source is just like buying a list and having a 20,000 rupee employee call that list 60-70 calls a day. Okay, that's another thing that I covered in my previous video. So if you haven't seen it, you can just scroll down and see six-figure blueprint. You'll get the idea of what I'm talking about when I'm talking about a predictable traffic system, which at every point that if I pay this much money, this much of people are going to see my business. Okay, and why do I talk about paying money? Is because you cannot earn traffic. You cannot earn traffic. That's another thing I discussed in my previous video, which is 6-figure blueprint. If you're paying this employee 20,000 rupees a month and they're working approximately 200 hours a month, then you're basically paying them 100 rupees an hour. Okay, you're paying them 100 rupees an hour. In that 1 hour, if they make, 5 or 10 phone calls, or let us say in 10 hours, which is in 1,000 rupees, they make 70 phone calls, which is pretty much the human max. Okay, and they make 70 phone calls, then you're basically paying, 15 rupees per phone call. You're paying 15 rupees per phone call. If only 1 in 6 or 1 in 10 phone calls results in somebody actually listening to you and showing some interest, that's 150 rupees per piece of interest. It's 150 rupees per piece of interest. Now here's the key difference. A lot of traditional business owners assume that if you have a better person calling the customers, or if they themselves, being the owner of the business and highly adept at their products and services, if they call a customer, the conversion rate is going to be better. And the answer is no. It doesn't matter what module you use to reach out to a customer for the first time. Okay, it doesn't matter what module you use to reach out to the customer for the first time. The mental footprint that you put on the customer's brain is the same, regardless of who calls them. Intelligent person calls them, pretty lady calls them, a good telecaller calls them manually, or a robot calls them, or they see something on Facebook and they click in or something like that. Okay, it doesn't matter. The first time you ever reach a customer, it doesn't matter who does that, as long as those impressions are gained. Now there are entire agencies, okay, the entire agencies who are specialized in getting first time attention from customers. Okay, and if you buy that first time attention using these agencies, then you will not be paying 150 rupees per impression. Okay, you'll probably be paying 1 paisa, 2 paisa, 5 paisa, 6 paisa, 15 paisa, 20 paisa, at the max maybe 1 rupee. At the max maybe 1 rupee, 100 times cheaper than wasting your own life's time. You have only this much time in life, you have only this much time in the year, and you have to get high paying customers or a battery of low paying customers at a predictable rate if you want to really sustain your business and really make money. At the end of the day, we do business to make money. We don't do business to have a profile saying I'm a business owner, I'm a travel agent, I'm a restaurant owner. Oh, but aajkal market bada slow hai, after COVID, I have no money because all my money is tied up here, my money is tied up there. That is not real business. Yeah, you're not, you need to grow up. Okay. Now, how does this whole outreach program work? You need to have your own system, which could be a website, funnel pages or whatever, and you need a traffic source. Okay. And then what you need is a feedback program, which basically converts these customers into interest into desire, and then desire into payments. Okay, interest into desire and desire into payments. Does that mean that you as a business owner will not be involved in the business? No, you will be involved, but only at the pivotal stages where you have to cut the check for 1 lakh rupees, 3 lakh rupees, 5 lakh rupees or whatever. Okay, if your customers are averagely paying you about 10,000 rupees, you personally actually don't really need to be involved in the sale also. Your employee can do it, your bots can do it, your algorithms can do it, your online videos can do it. Not to worry about that. Okay. And then when the customers actually come in, you got to calculate what is my cost of acquisition. If it takes me 3,000 rupees to acquire a paying customer who ends up spending 10,000 rupees in my first product, I'm clearly making a 200% markup. 200% markup on my customer acquisition costs. There is another thing called lifetime value, lifetime customer value, LTV, lifetime value. Okay, that means if you have a business house with multiple products, and if you have a system where the customer buys one product of yours and then there is a 30% chance or 20% chance that they're going to buy another product of yours, you just spent 3,000 rupees to acquire, let us say, a 15,000 rupee customer or a 20,000 rupee customer, depending on how many different products, how many different forms of value you have. Okay, which brings me to my original point. Why do I recommend people that you should have multiple products regardless of whether they're high profit or low profit? Is because even on the zero profit products, as long as they are easy enough to buy and they create some value within that customer journey, you can actually make profit on them because your customer acquisition cost is zero. You already have the customer. Okay, that is the way every big business or every big billionaire in the world has become a billionaire. Okay, you look at Steve Jobs, Apple. Okay, there is one device that they sell you, and regardless of what device they sell you, whether it's the iPod or iPad or iPhone, there is a guarantee that you'll be buying all the other devices within a 5-year period. Yes or no? There's a guarantee you can buy any Apple device to start with. There's a guarantee that in the next 5 years, you will be buying 2 or 3 of the other devices as well. Okay, that's number one. Look at Amazon, number two. Okay, they sell different products which are made by different people throughout the world, and all they are specialized in is, I'll find any product for you from all across the world and get it to your doorstep within 48 hours, right? Now, what is the average customer acquisition cost? May be very high, which means if a customer orders something worth 300 rupees all the way from Brazil, Amazon will find a way to get it over to you and they won't charge you much for it. That means they'll lose probably 3,000 rupees on acquiring a customer. Okay, but once that customer is in the bag, they are always going to buy from Amazon. They're always going to buy from Amazon. If a normal household buys, let us leave out groceries, household items, lights, bulbs, little things that, even clothes, there's a high likelihood that they'll be spending 70 to 80% of their money on Amazon every year. And that is about 20 to 40,000 rupees a month for 12 months. Yeah, that's 2.5 to 3 lakh, 4 lakh rupees per customer per year. What is the customer acquisition cost one time? Yeah, I once ordered a pair of athletic shoes from the US and they were costing about 3,500 rupees and they charged me about 4,200. They cost about $50 over there, which is about 3,500 rupees. And I got them over here for a total cost about 4,200, which means they charge about 700 rupees for shipping and everything. Okay. It probably cost Amazon much more than 4,200 rupees to make sure they bought it from there and they delivered it to me, including customs, falana dimkana. Okay, but they made sure it was with me. And today I'm an avid user of American products. I'm an avid user of Amazon in India, and I buy everything from across the world only through Amazon. Even if there is a store right next to my house, I don't want to take the time to go downstairs and buy from them. I'll just place an order on Amazon, and these days Amazon gives me same day delivery. So if I buy something at 9 o'clock in the morning, it's at my house at 2 o'clock. Why would I need to go outside? Why would I need to go outside? And that's what Amazon says. Why do you need to go outside? Yeah, buy 2.5 lakh, 3 lakh rupees worth of products from us every year, and we will make sure we deliver it to you within the same 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour period. Okay. So message, outreach, and business house. Today I want to talk about outreach because every time there's a new lockdown, I get even more energized and I bring this message back to you that you need to have an online building and online employees. Okay, and you need to have this system. The system is not free. A lot of people think that Facebook is free. I put some posts on Facebook or something like that. It's not free. It costs money, but you need to have a system that turns that interest into customers, into paying customers, turns that interest into paying customers. Okay, now I want to tell you the story of our community member Sachin, who actually has a travel agency. Okay, and in the middle of the lockdown, he was wondering how to get customers. When the lockdown opens, I should set up a nice office so everybody knows I'm here. The lockdown opened towards June, July, which is also vacation season. People are starting to travel and everything. And he said, I'll probably have an office and some employees so I can improve my presentability to the outside world, and that will give me business. Okay, but based on our advice, he chose not to do this, but he chose how to do this. Okay, so he said, we said, save all this money, save the 1 lakh rupees a month you're going to pay, and we'll show you how to get the customers. He already had a very good offering online. He already had a very good offering in the market, and he already had paying customers. But in order to supercharge it and have people travel during such a trying time when people are actually scared to travel and things like that, was very difficult. But he went with this option. He set up his online building, his online bots and algorithms, and today he's consistently getting 6-figure paying customers for his travel deals without having an office. Okay, without having an office. So the last video I asked you if you would like to hang out with him, just let me know in the comments box. If you'd like to hang out with him, just write "let me in the comments box, and I'm going to arrange a meeting with you and him so that you can hear his story. And even if you have any other brick and mortar business, which could be a restaurant, which could be a practice like an architect's practice or something like that on the ground, which is forced to shut down in the middle of the lockdown because, hey, The politicians can make money, construction can go on, but you are a threat to society if you're running your business, in the middle of the lockdown, right? So if you're sick and tired of that situation, if you have a brick and mortar business, you'd like to meet this person and understand how they were able to do it. It's all free. There's going to be no fees for it. Yeah, just type "let me in" the comments box, and I shall see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.